Welcome to Pack Your Bags with Tui. I'm Russell Kane. This is where I dig through celebrity suitcases item by item. Each episode, I chat with fascinating folks from sport, food, entertainment, you name it, about their 3 must-pack travel items. Some bring quirky mementos, others share clever hacks. Whatever they pack, it tells us something about how they see the world, whether they're roughing it outdoors or more typically enjoying the finer things in 5-star comfort. We'll also tackle your travel dilemmas and wrap things up with a laid-back quick-fire round. So settle in and enjoy as we unpack another guest's travel essentials and maybe a bit of their life story along the way. I'm buzzing like a bee on a barocca to be joined by TV presenter, singer, actor, DJ icon, Denise van Outen.
Hey, thank you. That's a lovely intro, Russell.
I know what everyone wants to know, Outen or Outen?
Outen. I do get a lot of Outens, yeah, but no, it's definitely an Outen. I'm out and about, aren't I?
And Indian and Outen. Welcome to Pack Your Bags with Tui. Are you good?
I'm really good, yeah. It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too. That's the only reason we've done this, really, because our lives are so full of workaholic packness is the only way we can meet up.
Have you been on holiday recently? Because you've got a lovely tan there.
Yeah, okay.
Or is that a spray tan?
As listeners, I may have put some fake bake on because I knew I would be talking to someone from Essex and I knew to relax you, I have to turn orange throughout the chat.
Now we're on the same level.
Yeah. Been anywhere recently?
Yeah, I feel like I've been here, there and everywhere at the moment. I'm very lucky that with my job, I get to travel a lot and I love travelling. And I've had an amazing holiday in the Maldives, which was a very zhuzh moment for me.
Have you been there before?
I have been before and I really wanted to go back. And I kept getting panicky because, they keep saying that in like 50 years' time, the Maldives won't be there.
Yeah, Maldives and Venice, isn't it?
Yeah. So I started to get a bit panicky because the last time I went was about 8 years ago. And I was thinking, I'm now coming up to 51. And I thought, I haven't got another 50 years in me, so I need to get there. So, yeah, that was really, really lovely. I really enjoyed it. And every time you go somewhere like that, you just go, it's special, isn't it?
You know yourself well enough, but you don't panic about the desert island, nothing to do thing. Are you quite good at switching off then?
Do you know what? I'm not. But when you go somewhere like that, you feel forced to do it. I just really enjoyed it. I think it's probably the first time in a long time that I came back from a holiday feeling totally relaxed. Because normally I go somewhere and I love sightseeing or I'm doing something. I'm a bit of a busybody.
So you like to be forced to stop? I'm like that.
Yeah. I feel like it forces you to stop. Do you know what my thing is? It's FOMO. If I go somewhere, if I know that there's a bit of a buzz in town or, there's a nice bar or a restaurant or there's a golf course or a nightclub, I couldn't just stay in. Yeah. I have to go and explore. Yeah, whereas there, because there's nothing, I went to bed early every night, I watched box sets every night, I got up early, went for a swim, just walked the island, and it was really good for me.
Were you there for work or were you there for pleasure or a bit of both?
A bit of both, really. I was DJing, so I went there for a
nice
gig.
Isn't it?
It was a good gig. These things they're very
DJing it couldn't have been like a jumping party. Was it like a chilled?
I played more chilled Ibiza type vibe music because it was, there was a lot of couples and no families or anything, kids or anything. It was a lot of couples. And I thought, I can't play like banging house.
Yeah, make some noise, Maldives.
But the night of the actual gig itself, they had this tropical storm and I was DJing. I got through most of my set, which was meant to be an hour and a half. I got to an hour and then the wind started kicking up. There was sand blowing in my eyes.
Because the thing with the Maldives people don't realise is it has real distinct seasons, doesn't it? But you can get a bargain. If you go June, July, you can get a real bargain, but the risk of rain is much higher.
Yeah, it is.
But the temperature's constant.
I have to be honest though, when I've gone, if you do have bad weather, it passes very quickly because of the islands. It never really sits there for long. So it's still worth going during those times because you can't sometimes think, I won't go because it's rainy season. Yeah. But because everything's changed now, you don't know, with the climate, you just don't know when it's going to be like that. So I'd say just go and...
That's the most positive spin on global Armageddon I've ever heard.
I'd just go anyway. I just pack for all weathers.
So DJing, did you ever see yourself becoming a DJ?
No.
I can turn up to events. I remember we had a party with Steph's and you were on the decks just ripping it. From what I remember, I was quite drunk. So how's that progressed? Did it start sort of as a casual hobby thing and now you're jetting off around the world?
Both of these things, like the golf and the DJing, have both come out of breakups, like heartbreak really, because I'm one of those people that when I've had my heart broken, I go, right, I need to just find something new, get a new hobby. And that's what happened with the golf. I threw myself into that. And with the DJ thing as well, I just thought, because I've always loved house music. I've been going to clubs since I was really young. I'm a house chick, and I used to go to Ibiza all the time and I've always been a bit of a raver. I had a set of decks at home and I just thought, I'm just going to start having a play around with them. And I realised that I picked it up quite quickly because I'm musical, right?
Yeah.
You know, I can write music, I can read music. And I've got a knowledge of music from like house music from years ago. So I just started messing around. And then from there, got a couple of gigs and it's kind of just snowballed really, quicker than I imagined it would or quicker than I thought it would.
And are you doing a lot of international dates and seeing the world with the DJ stuff? So we know about the Maldives. Where else have you been flown out to play music, you lucky time?
Well, obviously there's Ibiza and we've had Dubai and it's been a few different places. The one place I would love to go and play though is Japan. I'd love to go there because I've never been to Japan. I thought that'd be quite cool to go and do the clubs there.
If you're going to go in one direction or the other in the next few years, would you like to pursue the DJing more or do you not like to think like that? Do you like to go with the winds and be taken by creativity wherever it goes?
At the moment, it's going really well and I'm loving it. But also it's a bit of a sacrifice as well, you know, because you've got to give up your nights. There's a lot of travelling involved. Like, I mean, driving if you're doing it in the UK and you're doing gigs all over the country. You know, it's like touring.
Yeah. But
I'm a mum as well, so I have to factor in the fact that I can't always be away on the road.
I did try to DJ. I can't read music and all I could do is press play when the other one was finishing. But still, there's still that work is out there for fakes like me if we want it. The trouble is, the more high profile you get, the later you're on.
Yeah. The funniest thing was recently something similar happened to me. I'd booked to go to Paris with my friend for 24 hours because we know the Camel Fat boys. And we literally booked like to travel in the afternoons, coming back the following morning. And I said to the boys, what time are you on? We just assumed they'd be on at like midnight and do a couple of hours. They went on at 3 till 6.
Wow.
We had to be travelling home by 8 o'clock in the morning. So we were like, had to go straight through.
Wow.
And then the next day we both had gigs and we were like absolutely hanging.
So you're here to chat about your travel experiences. Before we get into that, every episode we have a dilemma sent in from a listener. Are you ready to play Travel Agony Aunt?
I am so ready.
Right. My partner has his annual boys' vacation coming up. Ooh. I trust... She didn't write ooh. I added that in.
I was going to say, how'd you write that? Ooh.
I trust him, but his friends are a little bit wild. How can I stop myself from spiralling whilst he's away?
Oh, it is a tricky one. And trust me, we've all been there. And I've got friends going through it at this very moment. I think the thing to do, don't be a nag. That's the main thing. Because if anyone's going to do anything, they're going to do it regardless. But you can make it worse.
Also, without meaning to pick apart the question, I trust him, but I mean, trust is you've just got to give in to trust, haven't you? Fully.
Yeah, you kind of have to just go with it. And like I said, if someone's going to do that, they're going to do it regardless, whether you say do or don't.
Yeah.
If it's in their makeup to do it. But keep yourself busy. Do something fun with your friends. But I wouldn't overthink it as well. Because 9 times out of 10, when you worry about these things, it's never what you think it is.
No.
You know, I certainly wouldn't sit there like going through your phone and trying to see who's tagged your partner, and you can think to yourself that something's happening that's not.
Very true. Right. What's your first must-pack item?
It's this. I know it's not taking pictures. First thing I do when I'm going anywhere on a holiday is I refresh my playlist because I like to have happy summer tunes. You know, I've got to have like a bit of Wham, Club Tropicana, anything that makes me feel like I'm going on holiday. You know, those sort of songs. Inner Circle Sweat. La 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 la.
Yeah, I like that.
That's my mum's favourite. But yeah, just happy music, because I think the thing that you want to do as soon as you get somewhere is you just want to get straight in the zone of I'm here to have a good time, you know, and enjoy yourself, relax and feel happy. So play happy songs, a happy playlist.
Yeah, music is such a great tool for that. Like sometimes when I'm about to go on stage, I'm like, I'm knackered. You've seen me live, right? I put a lot of energy in. I might have been doing something like this during the day. I might have had disturbed sleep with my daughter the night before or whatever. And I'm like, how am I going to do it? And I'll listen to, I don't know, I'll stick some techno on. It's like 5 espressos. Music can transform you emotionally.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But it's also good to have, because like you, I love house music, but I always have my cheesy playlist, summer playlist. It's also an excuse because if people go, what are we listening to? You go, well, it's my summer playlist.
Yeah, it's my mum's favourite.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, you've been some amazing places. Your travel CV is unreal. But where would you say is the most adventurous place you visited and what drew you there?
I'd say India is amazing. And I've been very fortunate to go a couple of times. First time I went, I did a bike ride through Rajasthan and I absolutely loved it. And then I just fell in love with India and did the whole Taj Mahal, and I've been to Delhi and Mumbai. I've done, and then I've just absolutely love it as a place, the people. And then on the Indian side, I've trekked the Himalayas a couple of times. Because as much as I'm really Essex, right? I mean, I love going away and packing all my matching outfits, handbag for every occasion. But I also love sometimes as well just going somewhere where it's just a rucksack, no makeup, no false eyelashes, little pair of denim shorts, vest and trekking boots and go and hike and just explore.
You do a lot of charity work, don't you? Was the bike ride for the Himalayas, was that for charity?
Yeah, all those little excursions and adventures that I've done have all been for charity. I enjoy it. It gives it a sense of purpose. I mean, they're the sort of things I would do anyway, but like I've done Machu Picchu, the Great Wall of China, Kilimanjaro.
I think you could be our best travelled guest.
Really?
Possibly, yeah. You're up there.
Well, I'm probably one of the oldest. That's why.
I'll tell Larry Lamb you said that.
But I love it because I feel like we're so lucky, aren't we, with what we get to do with our job and all the experiences we have. And they're the sort of things I'd love to do anyway, all those kind of adventurous things. And if you can do it and raise a bit of money for charity and awareness, then why not? What
did you travel much as a kid? What was your chart? Because I was like caravans in Devon until we could afford to go on package tours to Spain.
We were Clacton and Canvey Island. That was it. My nan had a caravan. I never went abroad. And I actually remember when I was a kid, we were going to go to Lanzarote and it was going to be our first big family holiday. And I was a kid of the 80s and my dad was one of the dockers and the dockers went on strike. And I remember my mum telling us and sitting us down, telling us that she had to cancel the holiday and we couldn't go. And I just remember being devastated and thinking, I really was looking forward to going on an aeroplane and going away. Maybe that's why I've wanted to travel so much. And I never, ever say no to a trip. And it's not even just like with me with the DJ stuff. I play golf. I took up golf when I was 40. And that was because I just wanted to have like a passion for something new in my 40s. And I've travelled with that and gone to some lovely places.
I didn't know that about you. I know you reasonably well. I didn't know you were into golf.
Well, the reason I got into it, Russell, this is the truth. It was after my divorce. And I thought, where can I go?
You wanted to hit something to a club as hard as possible.
No, I wanted to go somewhere with just loads of men. And I thought...
You didn't want to strike a ball with a club as fiercely as possible.
I just went, where can I go? I remember being with my friend and I was like, what do you do when you're in your 40s or you like, so I was at 40 and I said, where do you go when you want to meet people? Because like when you're young, you just go to a nightclub, don't you? And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that now. Like I just don't want to spend all night in a nightclub. And I was like, where have all the nightclubbers gone? And I looked and most of my male friends have all sort of grown up and got into golf. And I thought, perfect.
You're going to be responsible for a wave of women booking golfing holidays.
Because we need more women playing golf. I've got into it and I centre a lot of my holidays around either golf or DJing.
Are you good at it? Are you good at golf?
I can play, yeah. I can play around. I mean, I can hit a ball, Russell.
Honestly, if I kick a football, it goes sideways. If I throw a dart, it hits someone in the head. My dad could look at a shelf and put it up. Get up there. And I've just got nothing. I'm the guy you see covered in silver foil at the side of the road waiting for the AA to be rescued. Going, is my hair all right? What's the most extraordinary golf course you've ever visited?
I've seen some amazing golf courses. I've seen like the ones like where you've just got the most incredible views. But I think the most fun one that I played was in Barbados. Because they just kept giving me cocktails. So it was like literally...
Did your game improve?
Well, it normally gets better and then it starts to go really downhill quite rapidly. But that was the most fun one, I think, because they just wouldn't leave me alone. They kept coming out on the golf buggy, bringing me cocktails. And I was like, is this standard here? And I was like, yeah.
So you've actually become an ambassador for a cruise company right this year? Yeah,
I love cruises and I am the ambassador for Marella Cruises. I am the Chief Chill Out Officer, I'll have you know.
Is that your official job title?
Yeah, it is.
Chief Chill Out.
Yeah, it's just me to go, chill out, guys. Do you know what? When I was younger, again, it was one of those things where I'd go, I don't really fancy a cruise because you have this idea you're going to get stuck with the same people. But when you go on a cruise ship, you realise that it is so massive that the chances of you bumping into people, you occasionally do, but there's a lot to explore. And I actually have had really nice experiences and really enjoyed it. And what I love about it as well is the fact that you're on the ship at night to sleep. You get up, you wake up in a port in a completely different place, a place that maybe you never would have thought of going to and exploring.
Now, if you're going to do Van Outen cruises, where would you go? What would be your dream itinerary?
Well, the thing is, I'm a bit of a party girl, so mine would be a party cruise.
We could hit Magaluf.
Yeah.
Because you could do a Balearic cruise, right?
Yeah, could do.
Magaluf. Oh, you're not fancying that? Starting Faliraki, didn't you go to Faliraki?
I did Faliraki, yeah.
Was that one of your first holidays?
Faliraki was my very first holiday when I went with a boyfriend, when you think you're a real grown-up.
Yeah.
And at that particular time in my life, I wasn't really doing much telly or anything. I was sort of just left Sylvia Young Theatre School and I was just trying to break into the TV industry. And I was working in a clothes shop and I saved really hard to take my money with me to go on holiday to have a really nice time, and did that classic thing. First couple of days, cocktails, showing off. Couldn't believe I was away with a boyfriend. We ran out of money.
Yeah.
Literally by the end of the week, phoning home, no mobile phone then, going to a phone box, calling home, reversing the charges, saying, can you just get some money over to us? Having to live off beans on toast, from the supermarket. I mean, it was just like the worst.
And when we look back, you sort of think, oh, that was horrible. But I actually think I learned a lot from those experiences. I wonder if you need a few travel knocks here and there to strengthen you for a life.
I'm all for it. And I also think just going somewhere and just enjoying it for the time and the atmosphere. Like when we used to go to clubs and things, sometimes it'd be in a right little dive and you wouldn't expect him to end up there, but you'd have the best night.
Yeah.
Whereas it's all a bit organised fun now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I noticed that when I was in Ibiza last time, that it's like people are expecting to be entertained. And also people don't dance.
No.
They don't dance. They're just standing holding a phone up and it's like, put your phone down and dance.
Yeah, I've got a T-shirt being printed that says, if you're on your phone, you're not at the party. I've had it made.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting it for Ibiza and I'm going to wear it. Lindsay's got it on a hat. Put your phone away, I'm dancing.
She's going to take a picture of you with her phone and wearing it. Post it on social.
Ironically. Do you know what I hate? When you're on holiday and you're trying to detox off social media, but all your mates are on it, everyone's got their phones. How do you navigate that?
On my most recent holiday, it was one of the things that I thought, I don't really want to be on my phone all the time because I felt like I needed to do that myself. So I think the thing to do is maybe just allocate a time to do it. Also, if you are in a group, this is another really good one, and I've done this with friends. Just say to all of your group of friends, if you're going to take pictures, just take the one phone. You can also airdrop each other afterwards the same picture, rather than everyone trying to capture the same moment.
Yeah.
So you almost take it in turns. So if you are with friends, and it depends how long you're going for, each day someone's just in charge of doing the socials, so everyone else can enjoy it. And that way you all get to enjoy the holiday, you all get the pictures, you share them afterwards, but you haven't got, a group of 5 or 10
all on their
phones at the same time, not speaking to each other.
When we go out as a family, one person takes the phone, but it has to stay in flight mode as well. So it simply becomes a camera.
Yeah.
Because you can still drop those on WhatsApp afterwards and they wait and they send once you've got the data. So there's no argument even having the data on. You could just use it as a camera and then you can have like a set moment. Because otherwise you never really go on holiday because you never really get away from the news and everything else back home. You can get sucked back in. So your brain chemistry is having all the emotions of still being at work and still being stressed, but you could be sat on the Maldives. If you really need to reset or disconnect, would you go for something like the Maldives, or would you go for something where you can fill it full of activity and be on itineraries and exploring?
I think now, having just done the Maldives, I realise, and maybe it's because I'm just getting older, how much I needed to just stop.
Mm.
I've got a very overactive brain anyway, so I can fill my diary with so much stuff. In fact, even if I've got a day off, I tend to fill it with loads of things. So that for me was to just be somewhere where you're forced to just do nothing. I got a lot out of that.
I read this brilliant book recently. If anyone's going on holiday, buy this book at the airport, take it with you. You might have even read it. It's called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. And 4,000 weeks, by the way, this is your motivation to go and travel and see somewhere amazing. This is the number of weeks most human beings live. How small is that number? See, we got 4,000 weeks on this earth, scrolling, moaning, or seeing the world, visiting India, playing golf somewhere amazing, do amazing stuff. And what he talks about in this book, as well as waking you up to seeing the world and having experiences, he calls it the efficiency paradox. So we get all these machines and we get a free day based on the machines, but then we fill the day with more work. So as human beings, we're unable to enjoy the time we've created. We immediately refill it. That's what you're describing there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's brilliant about travel.
Yeah, it makes you just, you switch off and you're in the moment, aren't you?
What's your second item?
So blister plasters. They're essential for me because normally if I'm going away, I treat myself to a new pair of shoes. It could be a sandal, it could be a heel. I draw the line at a wedge.
Yep.
Those days are over. So essential for me to have blister plasters because I always end up getting my feet cut up. And even if you just go away and you wear
Sounds
a pair
so menacing in our accent. Who cut you?
And the other thing as I've got older that I've noticed that I get quite a lot is plantar fasciitis.
Now, I have flat feet. And when I say flat, I mean, one of them's got a slight arch and the other is like, throwing a steak down on the floor. But no one ever told me. So I started to get like knee and hip pain when I was about 23. I was like, what is going on? And I went to a podiatrist and he's like, you've got flat feet. So I've worn orthotic. Try not to get too aroused, female listeners.
Oh, you're really selling it to me now, Russell.
Here, we're both getting turned on. I've got orthotic foot arch replacements in my shoes. It changed my life. But you can get flip-flops with the orthoses in. They're only the little rubber ones you'd wear around the pool, but it's just a game changer. Because what happened is I go on holiday, you can't wear your posh inserts around the pool. So you're trying to go flat-footed and then I get the heel ache and all of that.
Yeah. I've got a high instep because I used to do
you got
ballet.
too much arch?
Yeah, I've got a massive arch. So my arch needs filling. So that's why my heels hurt, because I'm basically pressing hard on my heels. So if anyone can help figure out a way to fill in my arch, DM.
So you've been on Broadway and West End.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Were you not nervous the first night you went out?
Do you know
on
what?
Broadway doing Chicago.
I would
have been on Imodium for a year before that.
I was less scared in New York than when I did the opening in London.
Why?
Because nobody knew me there.
Ah, right.
And I'd already had a run in London. So by the time I got to New York, I could just enjoy it. And I knew the show and I knew the character and, all the things that you do when you're sort of building the character in your head and you're playing it out. So I was ready. I felt
do you ever look back and you think, I can't actually believe I did that?
It is amazing. Like, I appreciate it more now. But when you're doing it and you're younger, you just go with it, don't you? And it's only when you look back. It's true. I do look back and I think that was amazing. Amazing when I look at my old photographs, because this is, people don't print photographs off anymore now, do they? But no. I've got like real like photographs at home. And I looked the other day and found one of my whole family who'd flown out to see me in New York do the show on Broadway. And it was lovely. My nan was there. And there was like aunts and uncles who've now passed, and it was really lovely. And I thought, God, that was a really magical moment for me. But what it must have been like for them, like my nan, to see her granddaughter doing that, when she used to take me to my little dance classes.
Would you ever do anything like that? Are you still like, I might do that, something that big again? Would you ever go back into theatre again?
I'd go back into theatre.
Would you do something that high profile with that many eyes on you? You still up for that?
I'm not worried about the eyes being on me. It's whether you get the opportunity. That's the thing. But
some people would not want the opportunity anymore. Their coverage, has gone, or their zest has gone. I know lots of stand-ups like that. Lots.
Really?
Yeah, loads of people lose their bottle. It's common. I don't think we're normal.
No, I've never lost it. In fact, if anything, I'm more fearless. I think I'd embrace it more now and enjoy it more now. Because now I just think, well, I've got into like my sod it phase where you just go, just do it, embrace it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You get panned by the critics. I've had that before.
Would you do Shakespeare again?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to, yeah.
Because you were in Midsummer Night's Dream, weren't you, RSC?
Yeah, I was at the RSC and the Barbican.
Did you do it in your own accent? Were you like, oh, prithee, what's that?
I sounded
a
bit nicer then.
But now they would be directing you the opposite way, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
sort of
exactly.
Like regional sounds.
Yeah.
So you would do Shakespeare?
I would do it, yeah. I mean, I'd do anything. Anything that challenges me. And anything that I just think, well, I'll enjoy, I'll do.
Shows are obviously popular activities for a lot of city breaks. Do you ever try and go and see a show when you're abroad? I'm assuming if it's an English-speaking country. Well, actually, in Italy, I went to the opera.
I love it. I mean, for me, if you're going to go and do theatre, it's always great to go and do it in New York, isn't it? It's a great one to do.
Do you try and make that part of your itinerary if you're on a city break? Will you always try and go and watch a show, or do you? It
kind of depends, really, where I am. And what's on. There are only certain musicals I like. People think I love all musicals, and I don't really like a lot of the old ones. I like quite more of the modern musical.
Is there anywhere else that's good for entertainment, theatre, music? I mean, we just did a driving holiday last year. Austin. I knew nothing about Austin in Dallas. My God, what a place.
I'm desperate to go there.
The art, the culture. There's stand-up comedy scene there where British comedians have a following. You can go, there's art galleries and second-hand vintage stores full of really cool stuff. The music there's unreal. Same with Memphis and Nashville, obviously. They're both brilliant destinations for music.
See, I love going to Paris and seeing the shows as well because I think they're next level. And also, I love burlesque. I did a burlesque cabaret show in London.
What about city breaks? What's your favourite cities? We mentioned Paris, we mentioned New York. Are you a Doobs person? A lot of Essex people are.
I've done a lot of Doobs, Dubai, when my daughter was younger, because it was just easy, and I was a single mum, and it was like, it's so safe to take your little ones, and they're brilliant with kids.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I just want to explore a little bit more, and I've become a big fan of the city break now. I went to Munich last year for the first time, which I absolutely loved.
God. I just went to Munich on my own last month.
I loved it. Didn't you love it?
Well, I had 2-3 days, and I said to Lindsay, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to do a city break on my own, somewhere random. Munich was leaving. It's great. The food, the people. It's
amazing.
Did you go to the Englischer Garten?
Yeah, did all of that.
Wasn't it?
And I really want to go back. I also went to, because in Spain, I tend to go to the same places. Like I've got an apartment in Marbella, so I go there a lot, and obviously Ibiza and Mallorca. But I went to Seville, and I'd never been there.
That keeps coming up in this series.
It's so amazing, honestly. Drove from Marbella to Seville. It's like 2 hours, and it's just incredible. Like the tapas, the dancing. And I also love Berlin as well.
Yes, somewhere else I want to see probably.
It's great. And I love Berlin for the fact that, one, I love all the club scene's amazing. And there's no phones in the clubs there. They're apps, they're banned. It's very old school. And it's a little bit raw. So I love Berlin.
Okay, what's your third and final must-pack item?
Has to be sunglasses. Now, I say this because people go, well, that's an obvious one, isn't it? But I mean sunglasses for an occasion.
Right.
So
you have do you take quite a few pairs? Different
pairs, different outfits, different scenes that I'm going to be in.
Yes.
So DJ scene. I need something that's, going to fit with the scene. I've got.
Are we talking like a yellow or a rose lens that's
bright
see-through?
Neon, anything that will just in a UV will glow.
Do you wear sunglasses in the club?
Yeah, always.
But are you going for a dark lens? So my favourite's it's a little bit Ali G, but like a yellow. I like a yellow.
Like the
lens.
yellow. Blue's really good as well. I like it because I think for me it's, well, first of all, I'm getting a bit old, and I think that it makes me look younger.
Please don't say that, because basically...
No, I know. But
age.
When you're in a club, and I just think if I'm hiding behind sunglasses, I instantly look a bit younger. But also, it's when you leave, and trust me, I am normally one of the last to leave because I've still got it in me.
Yes, girl.
You don't have to let your eyes adjust as well when you come out too much. You got your glasses on. But I always wear them. I don't wear them when I'm actually DJing though, because I can't see everything. But sunglasses are a must. And also, I do feel, because I've always worn them, that I haven't really got many lines around my eyes.
No.
I wear them all the time when I'm away.
Do you know what I do? Particularly when I'm on holiday, but always. I've done it since I was 17. I don't know if it's nonsense or not. Every night before I go to bed, I put Vaseline around my whole eye every night. Have done since I was 16.
Perfect. Yeah. That's why you look so good.
And that and shades.
Even when it's wintry as well, I wear sunglasses.
Yeah.
So, big fan of sunglasses. They are an absolute must for me. And I've got so many that I've collected over the years. And they're not all expensive ones.
No, but you just did different looks. There's no point buying expensive ones because they get crushed or lost.
They get lost, yeah.
We've got the quick fire questions, but before I've got to ask you, because of, both our connections to Essex and our relationship to the suntan itself, do you sunbathe or not?
I do sunbathe. I go to Mersey Island in Essex. I've got a little beach hut.
Oh, way.
And I do still sunbathe. I'm careful, and I do wear like a big hat. And listen, I mix it up a little bit. I have a bit of real tan and a bit of fake. I mean, you've got to, haven't you?
Showbiz, darling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I do love to sunbathe still because I just love the feel of the sun on my skin.
Can you sleep during the day? Because I reckon I could do a month in the Maldives, but I would have to have my Kindle loaded up and a pile of books. I cannot fall asleep. I just can't do it. I've got the active brain thing you've got, and I just can't do it. Do you know what it is? The thought of someone looking at me while I'm asleep.
Really?
That's so why I can't sleep on flights either.
Oh, I sleep straight away on a plane.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, I can sleep anywhere, to be fair. But I can also stay up and go the distance. But if I'm in a situation where, there is an opportunity to sleep, I will sleep. Because I don't think I slept throughout my 20s and 30s.
Now you're catching up.
Just partying. So I'm catching up.
Right, we're going to hit you with the quick fire questions now.
Hit me.
Imagine if that was a trailer. Right, dream celeb travel partner. You're not allowed to choose me.
If I have to choose, I love that. You're not allowed. Dream celeb travel partner. I would have to say Adele. Because I sort of
Do you know her?
Yeah, I do know her from. I mean, I haven't seen her for a while.
Would you sit on different sides of the plane and then shout hello?
She's a proper laugh. She's up for anything. And also, I feel like now would be a really good time to go with her because she'd have so many stories, wouldn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine all the people she's met now.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd get a load of gossip.
That would be probably a good
You'd find out everything
You're
about
not on a juicy
Beyonce
WhatsApp group with her,
and
right?
Jay-Z and no.
I'd love to be on that WhatsApp group. Can you imagine? Craziest thing you've ever done on holiday?
Well, they're things you shouldn't really repeat, are they? But one of the things I did do was I was on holiday with my boyfriend and the people that in the kitchen were being really over friendly with us and kept like if we ordered any sort of room service, they'd make extra of everything.
Right.
Like, when the chef was just really excited to cook for us and bring food. So we decided that because we couldn't eat all of it, we were like, what do we do with it? We don't want to seem rude. So we kept lobbing it out the window of the hotel, only to discover the next morning that the swimming pool's below us. Oh. So our dinner's just floating on the top of the pool.
Did you get in trouble?
No, well, they must have seen it.
Oh, my God. First thing on your plate at the buffet?
First thing will be buffalo chicken wings.
Yes, good choice. Biggest travel ick?
Rucksacks. They really annoy me. They're dangerous.
Rucksack with me today.
They're so annoying.
Yeah,
why do people wear them when you're trying to get on the plane, when you're trying to sit in your seat?
What about a front wearer? I'm a front wearer when I'm boarding.
Or off.
Aisle or window seat?
Window. I like to sleep. And I like to just hide in a corner. We
complement each other well because, as you can imagine, I'm an aisle seat, the Mr. Prostate 2025. I can't bear the thought of saying excuse me, so I just have to wee the seat.
No, I'm window. I hate the middle one. If you have to have the middle one, it really annoys me.
Yeah. Well, thoughts on clapping when the plane lands?
Always do it. I love it. Yeah. I cheer, I clap.
Bucket list destination. Now, for you, this is going to be tricky because we're looking for somewhere you haven't been that you really, really want to go.
Mexico, never been. And I know I've never been. Can you believe
it?
Never. And I really want to go. And I love tequila. It's my drink.
No way.
So it's
Do you like a spicy mug?
Absolutely. I love it. So spicy that my lips, ears, everything tingles.
So we went away and it wasn't spicy enough. So we went to the shop and bought we had a chili holster where we would, because we were so sick of sending them back saying more chili. So that's another travel hack, by the way, a chili holster for the spicy mug drinkers. Are you a holiday planner or just turn up?
I plan everything. Like literally, I pack a suitcase at least 3 weeks before I go away. Right. And then I take things out because I'm lucky enough with work to go on many trips. I have to have like different.
Have you got like a utility case floating in the corner with the bases in it ready to go at all times?
Always there. It's right by the bed.
Yeah, same as me. Most embarrassing travel moment. I think we probably just heard it. Slinging your dinner in the pool.
Yeah, that was that one.
Holiday karaoke song of choice because you do sing, don't you?
Yeah, flash dance. What a feeling! It's my go-to because I can really belt it out. And I love it as well because it's one of those that everyone goes, oh, you do that one well, don't you?
Yeah.
I love it. I need that validation.
Go-to holiday drink, margarita, tequila, what was next?
It's always got to be, it's anything tequila based.
Would you rather have a shot with the lemon and salt or do you prefer a marg?
I prefer a marg, but I'll do a shot. As long as I'll just any tequila for me, whatever's going.
We spoke about lots of cities and your favourite city breaks, but if you had to go just one last city break, you could only go on one, where would you pick?
One last city break. Where would I go?
Where's your favourite?
I think it would have to be New York.
Yeah, same.
Just because also I've got fond memories of it because I did Chicago on Broadway.
Best beach destination?
For me, I can't really pick anywhere other than the Maldives because I just think once you've been there, you've been spoilt rotten.
Most surprising destination you've been to? You've gone there expecting one thing and it's nothing like what you were anticipating.
Munich.
Yeah.
I honestly thought I was going to go there and I thought it'd be a bit boring. And I just didn't, it had more to offer than I expected.
Yeah, I loved it as well. And this is so hard because you've done so much, but just answer with the first thing that comes into your head. Your best travel memory.
Best travel memory. Well, can I choose two for different reasons? One of them will be the cycle across Rajasthan in India because it was there was something about that trip. I don't know if it was a moment in my life. And I just fell in love with it. And it just felt like a special holiday.
Sounds
and to
amazing.
cycle, to go through all the little villages and go.
Who were you with?
I was with my friend Lydia. And to go off the beaten track and to go through these little villages was just incredible. That was amazing. So that's
Sounds
definitely
wicked.
one of them.
I'm allowing you two. So cycling Rajasthan, yes. What's the other favourite holiday travel memory?
So this is a more recent one for me. And it's my 50th birthday. I was lucky enough to go to Vegas to see Adele at Caesar's Palace. And it was incredible. So I flew in for the weekend only. And during her show, she actually came over to me and wished me a happy birthday. you know when it's just an incredible night. I was with one of my best friends.
To wish she'd have sung happy birthday.
Sorry, love, can you just sing me happy birthday?
In the Marilyn version, please.
It was just a special trip because I've been to Vegas before, but there was just something about going there. It was my 50th birthday. I was with an amazing group of people. And then that happened as well. And it just made it a bit extra special. Denise, that's it. It's been so cool hanging out. Thank you so much. Anything else? What's coming up? Tell us. What? Busy I never summer.
Want to guess with you. What's next? Women's boxing?
I don't want to be punched in the ring. Summer is a busy summer this year, and I'll always be chasing the sun because I love it. I love a sunshine holiday. But Ibiza, I've got some gigs in Ibiza, Marbella.
You're writing anything?
Yeah, so
the story of your life. Have you written a memoir?
I did do one a couple of years ago that came out, and it's Sunday Times bestseller. So what I've actually written around it now is a stage show, which I'll be doing next year.
Well, there we go.
But I've got an album that I've recorded. So I've got
what
the songs. What genre
is that? Because it was the last song you did was sort of a disco vibe to it.
That was disco. No, this is completely the opposite. It's the soundtrack. I've called it the soundtrack to my life. So it's some cover versions, some originals, but it's to go with my autobiography, which now I'm turning into an evening with stage show.
That sounds fantastic. And is the plan to tour that? Or
Yeah. I'm announcing
Chelmsford, Colchester, Southend, Leeds, all around.
Within the North Circular.
Honestly, well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Pack Your Bags with Tui. If it's your first time listening, we have plenty more episodes for you to dig into with the likes of Paul C. Brunson, Larry Lamb and Kimberly Walsh. And for those of you who have been with us all series, thank you for joining us on this journey. It's been a blast.